Hello everyone, welcome you all. Today we are going to discuss about economic survey based and budget 2021 based UPSC Prelims quiz. Let us start with question number 1. Consider the following statement. Statement number 1. The difference between the interest rate and growth rate in an economy is called as interest rate growth differential. Statement number 2. Developing countries like India has positive IRGD due to lower growth rate as compared to the advanced countries. See the statement number 1, that is right. That is, the difference between the interest rate and growth rate in an economy is called as interest rate growth rate differential. Therefore, this statement is right. What about statement number 2? See, the advanced countries, okay, the faces extremely low interest rate, which turns the negative IRGD. Similarly, the same phenomenon in negative IRGD in India. So it is based on due to the higher growth rate. Okay, here it is given as positive IRGD, that is wrong. So India is also facing the negative IRGD, but it is based on higher growth rate, whereas in the advanced countries it is based on the lower interest rate. Okay, so these are the difference one has to remember. We have picked this question based on the economic survey 2021. Okay, the page number 60. Okay, so this statement is wrong. The answer would be A, one only. Let us move on with the question number 2. Consider the following statement. Fiscal multiplier measures the effects that an increase in fiscal spending which have on a nation's economic output. Statement number 2. Fiscal multipliers will be higher in expansionary period in an economy. We have to identify the correct statement here. See the fiscal multiplier. The economics defines the fiscal multiplier as the ratio of the change in output to the change in tax, revenue or government spending. Therefore, this statement is right. And also it measures the effects that increase in fiscal spending which have on a nation's economic output or GDP. What about statement number 2? See, the fiscal multipliers are likely to be higher. Okay, higher but not in expansionary period, but it is higher in recessionary periods. Okay, so kindly remember this point. Fiscal multipliers will be higher in recessionary periods because one has to remember the private savings, okay, increases. The private saving increases due to the precautionary motive to save, and also any potential crowding out of the private investment is unlikely to happen because of the increased pool of loan funds by higher spending by the government. Therefore, it is given here as a expansionary period. Therefore, the statement is wrong. So therefore, answer would be A1 only. See, we have picked this question based on the concept called the fiscal multiplier definition. Okay, so it is present in the page number 65 of economic survey 2020-21. Okay, so kindly go through if you have the economic survey PDF or book. Okay, let us move on with the question number 3. Which of the following statement regarding structure of India's debt is or correct? India's overall debt level or percentage of GDP are the highest among the GDP of G20 and OECD countries. Statement number 2. External liabilities in the portfolio of government debt are more than half of its total debt. Center and state shares almost equal amount of debt in the total public debt. See, let us analyze the statement. What about statement number 1? Say the India's overall debt level as percentage of GDP is not highest, but it is lowest. Okay, remember this point. It is lowest among the GDP of G20 or OECD countries, and also it is lowest among the group of BRIC nations. And also moreover, public debt and overall debt level for India has declined from 2003 and also has been stable since 2011. Okay, so therefore this statement is wrong. Here it is given as the highest, therefore this statement is wrong. What about statement number 2? See, the government debt portfolio is categorized by very low foreign exchange risk as external liabilities. Okay, here this external liabilities is of 2.7% overall of GDP. And also note that the 5.9% of total central government liabilities. Total central government liabilities. Therefore, this statement is also wrong. It is not more than half of its total liabilities. What about statement number 3? Overall the public debt 70%, okay, 70% of the public debt held by the center, as the central government is entrusted with the responsibility of macroeconomic management. This distributions of debt between the center and state is desirable because of the incentive that it generates. See, we have picked this question. It is not the equal amount of debt. Therefore, this statement is also wrong. Therefore, answer would be D, none of this. We have picked this question based on the page number 87 and 88. Kindly go through this. Let us move on with the question number 4. Which of the following will be the impact of higher fiscal spending in recessionary times according to the principles of wealth effect? See, one has to know the concept of wealth effect. The wealth effect examines how a change in personal wealth influences consumer spending and economic growth, and also rising wealth has the positive impact on consumer spending. And also during the recession, liquidity constraints might bind across the wide range of household and firms. Thus, the large fraction of households and firms will consume the extra income generated following the government spending increases, leading to the greater impact on consumption, that is wealth effect, and hence the output. Therefore, the statement number, this option number A is right. Higher household consumption and output in an economy is nothing but the wealth effect. So this is based on the economic survey 2020-2021. Okay, so we have picked this question from the page number 65. Okay, the concept called the wealth effect. Okay, the concept called wealth effect. Okay, so kindly go through this. Let us move on with the question number 5. Okay, which of the following statement appropriately describes the principles of Ricardian equivalence? See, what do you mean by this Ricardian equivalence? It is an economic theory. It states that the financing government spending out of current taxes or future taxes will have equivalent effects on the overall economy. This means the attempt to stimulate an economy by increasing debt financed government, and also the government spending will not be effective because investors and consumers understand that debt will eventually have to be paid for in the form of future taxes. Therefore, this theory was developed by David Ricardo in the early 19th century, and later it was elaborated by the Harvard professor Robert Barrow. So therefore, here the answer is, you have to know, right? See, that is any attempt to stimulate an economy by increasing debt to finance government spending will not be effective. Therefore, answer would be B. See, what about statement number A? This statement number A is called as opportunity cost. That is nothing but when a person sacrifices when they choose one option over another. In the concept, in order to acquiring something we want, usually to give up something to get it. Okay, what about statement number C? See, this is also very important concept. So this is nothing but tax buoyancy. Okay, so this is nothing but this relationship, okay, explains about the relationship between changes in the government tax revenue growth and changes in the GDP. Okay, it refers to the responsiveness of the tax revenue growth to changes in the GDP. When the tax is burned, its revenue increases without increase the tax revenue. Therefore, so this is nothing but related to tax buoyancy. So therefore, so this is based on the question. Okay, the page number 82, the Ricardian equivalence definition. Okay, is see, you may Google also, so you may get this definition with to the Investopedia, that is when what is called tax buoyancy, how it works for the government, etc. Okay, so this is very important concept. One has to read about this. Let us move on with the question number 6. With reference to the sovereign credit rating, so this is very important question. We may expect a question for this prelims. Okay, sovereign credit rating evaluates and quantifies issuer's ability to meet its debt obligation. What about statement number 2? Sovereign credit ratings broadly rates countries as either investment grade or speculative grade. Economic with speculative grade ratings is projected to have the higher likelihood of default on borrowing. One has to know about these things. Okay, the sovereign credit rating evaluates and quantifies issuer's ability to meet its debt obligation. Yes, this statement is right. What about statement number 2? So here given as economic with investment grade ratings is to have higher likelihood of default on borrowings. No, this is wrong statement. Economic with a speculative grade rating is projected to have higher likelihood of default on borrowings. Therefore, this statement is wrong. We can eliminate B, C and D. Therefore, obviously answer would be A1 only. What about statement number 3? See, during the most of 1990s and mid 2000s, India's sovereign credit rating was speculative grade, and India's credit rating was upgraded to investment grade by Moody's in 2004 and Fitch in 2006 and SP in 2007. So this is based on the page number 103, 104 and 105. Okay, with this I am moving to the next question. Question number 7. Consider the following statement regarding WTO, appellate body. This is also very important question. We may expect a question with respect to this concept also. See, this WTO, that is World Trade Organization appellate body, is composed of 7 members having the 4-year terms. And statement number 2, the members of the body have been barred for the reappointment for the post again. Statement number 3, the body has not been functioning effectively in recent years due to the United States stalling of appointment of the members. Statement number 4, India along with the European nation, that is European Union, have created the multi-party interim arbitration mechanism as an alternative to appellate review. Here we have to identify the correct statement. See, what about statement number 1? See, the World Trade Organization is a permanent body, okay, intended by the Dispute Settlement Understanding, in short DSU, and to resolve the appeals on issue of laws. It is ordinarily composed of 7 members having 4-year term. Therefore, this statement is right. What about statement number 2? See, this WTO's appellate body ordinarily composed of 7 members having 4-year term, which is possible for a reappointment. Therefore, this statement is wrong. We can eliminate C, D and A also. Therefore, the answer would be 1 and 3. We can do by elimination method also. But let us analyze the statement number 3. Since July 2017, the United States have been stalling, that is appellate bodies appointment of the pre-test. Therefore, the appellate body crisis with fewer than 3 members to hear and appeal since 2019. This appellate body is not able to function as mandated under the DSU, that is Dispute Settlement Understanding. Therefore, this statement is right. What about statement number 4? See, the India supports the restoration and the preservation of the normal functioning of the two-stage binding WTO dispute settlement mechanism, but 23 members of WTO has created the multi-party interim arbitration mechanism. And also, one has to note that the European Union, China, Brazil, Australia, New Zealand are some of the key members of MPIA. India has not yet MPC. This is very important. Okay, India is not yet, okay, not yet joined, okay, not yet joined in this multi-party arbitration. Okay, therefore statement number 4 is wrong. So we have already arrived, okay, the answer 1 and 3, B is the answer. So this is based on the economic survey page number 138. Let us move on with the question number 8. India has remained a net importer of agri products after the economic crisis of 1991. The share of marine products in total agriculture export value has remained the largest in the last decade. Agriculture credit flows targets set up by the government has been consistently missed over year on year. The share of agriculture and allied sector in GVA of the country has declined in the last 5 years. Here we have to identify the correct statement. See, since economic reforms began in 1919, India has remained a net exporter of agri products. Here, but it is given as the importer. Therefore, the statement is wrong. And also remember that with agri export touching 2.5 lakhs crores and import is 1.47 lakh crores. Therefore, this statement is wrong. What about statement number 2? The top agriculture and related products exported from India were marine products and basmati rice, buffalo meat, spices, non-basmati rice, cotton raw, oil, meal, sugar, castor oil and tea, etc. And also, share of the marine products in the total agriculture export value has remained the largest over the period. Therefore, this statement is right. Okay. And also remember that its share in total agriculture export value increased from 14.5% to the 19% in 2019-2020. What about statement number 3? The agriculture credit flows target for the year 2019-20 was fixed by 1350 crores. Okay, and against this target achieved 1392 469.81 crores. And also remember, the agriculture credit flows target for 2020 and 2021 was fixed at 15 lakh crores, and till 30th November 2020 the sum of 973517 crores was disbursed. Also, the agriculture infrastructure fund is announced as the part of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. This will further boost credit flow to the agriculture sector. What about statement number 4? The share of agriculture and allied sector in gross value added of the country has declined from 18.2% to 17.8%. Therefore, this statement is correct. See, so far we have discussed this statement is wrong. So, based on our discussion, 2 and 4 is right. See, we have picked this question from the page number 251, 254 and 256. Okay, let us move on with the question number 9. Consider the following statement. In India, states with greater income or higher per capita income experience low rate of poverty. The economic survey 2020 and 2021 concludes a strong correlation between inequality and poverty among the Indian states. Let us analyze statement number 1. See, according to the economic survey, the data for 4 years, that is 1993, 1999, 2004 and 2011, suggest all over among negative relationship implies that the state with the greater income on higher per capita. Okay, therefore this statement is right. In India, state with a greater income or higher per capita income experienced low rate of poverty. And what about statement number 2? In India, in Indian scenario, the strong relationship is absent between inequality and poverty. There does not exist any correlation between inequality and poverty among the Indian states, leading to an ambiguous conclusion. Therefore, this statement is wrong. The answer would be A, 1 only. So, we have picked this question based on the economic survey under the page number 156, 154 and 157. Let us move on with today's last question. Consider the following statement. The contribution of non-communicable disease in total global mortality rate has decreased over the year. Statement number 2. In India, more than half of the deaths are caused by non-communicable diseases. See, this is very important concept, very important question. See, between 1990 and 2016, the contribution of non-communicable diseases increased, but here it is given as a decreased. Therefore, this statement is wrong. Okay, it is increased to 37.7 percentage, 37.7 percentage to the 61% of all the deaths. Therefore, 71% of global death are caused by non-communicable diseases. Therefore, this statement is wrong. What about statement number 2? Yes, 65%. Okay, in India, 65%, that is more than half of death in India, are caused by non-communicable diseases, such as the economic survey argues that preventing communicable disease requires focus on better sanitation and drinking water with the Swachh Bharat and Arghar Jal Abhiyan campaigns. So we have picked this question based on the economic survey. Okay, page number 171. With this, I am concluding this session.